It says, welcome, 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 Toastmasters masters and professionals today and guests. It's just so interesting, so pleasurable, and also so mind feeding when it comes down to the experiences that you guys have when it comes down to dealing with International Toastmaster website reports. And these are one of the things I want to learn from you guys today. And I have this great opportunity to be facilitator today, and we're going to have our three speakers for this afternoon. It's going to be Miss Ray, Miss Tamesia, and Miss Becky. And I know they have so much knowledge they're going to be able to share with us today. We're going to let them go ahead and share some of that experience. And then if we have any questions from our audience, we welcome you to go ahead and ask those questions, because bad questions are ones that you don't ask. Every question is necessary to keep us all engaged. So thank you very much for coming in today. Give you a little spill. I am been with Toastmasters for about 2 years. Okay, I had the great opportunity to join Successfully Speaking, and I was Sergeant of Arms. I was a president for about 6 months, and back to a Sergeant of Arms. Still, every single day I come and approach them. They teach me something different, because these professionals got something to feed your mind, your spirit, of motivation to carry forward a beautiful message. And I enjoy that. I enjoy that altogether. So let's start with first. I don't have a dignitary here today to give us the little spill for the evening, but let's go ahead and start with the three speeches for the evening today, for this afternoon. And I will want to call Miss Ray. Miss Ray, would you be so kind to join us, and let's talk about important thing, which is it's almost like the top of the pyramid. Our members, those are the ones that we need to support. Not only that, we need to put the gas, the fuel to rocket launch them to success. Please join us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I am so pleased to be here. Thanks for everyone who has joined us today, whether you're listening live or you are streaming after our event. I am so pleased to be here to talk about Toastmasters International website and how useful it is for members. As a member of Toastmasters International, one of the first things that happens is that someone tells you, go out to this pretty cool website, toastmasters.org. Now, I'm assuming that you know this website and you have signed in, but if you are new to Toastmasters or just want a little refresher, we're going to take a little tour of our Toastmasters International website. Right at the top, you would see possibly your name if you have already signed in. So here I am, it says, welcome Ray Ann. And this is a really great place that you can find out some information about you, as well as what your roles have been. So once you click on your profile, it allows you easy access to go to Basecamp for whatever club you are part of. I'm pleased to be part of 2 clubs, Determined to Master Speaking, as well as Dining Out Toastmasters. So I can choose either one club and go to Basecamp for that. If I wanted to get a new path, here's where I can get a new path as well. And if I'm unfamiliar with pathways and needed a little help, the Navigator is my guide to experiencing the Pathways learning experience. So right from within your member profile, there are some really great things that are available to you. It gives you your member number and a little information about you, as well as some things here that you can check out, your membership history, your education awards, and a couple other things. So again, check out your profile and make sure that you understand all the resources available there. Today, we will be going through each of the tabs and talking about things that you as a member can possibly find very helpful. So the first one is the About tab, and we would like to start with the history of Toastmasters. You belong to an international organization, one that has been around for many, many, many years, and was started by Mr. Ralph Smedley. So if you were curious about the history of this organization that you're a part of, right here on the About tab, you can find the history of Toastmasters. And if you are even more curious about our District 56 history, we're not doing a tour of our district website, but it's on there. Toastmasters.com, our history will give you the date, July 1st, 1957, that District 56 was formed. So we have the history of Toastmasters International, as well as the history of District 56 available for you right there in black and white. Next, pathways. Now, we should all be familiar with pathways because that is our primary learning experience right now. And while we are not doing a session on pathways, I would like to let you know that pathways updates, if you hadn't been on this website before or this page, tells you when there is a scheduled maintenance update or when there are updates to tutorials or other things that are going on within pathways. So if you missed a banner, sometimes they have it at the top that says Basecamp would be down for maintenance, as all things online sometimes have to be taken offline for a little bit of maintenance. Right here, it tells you if there are any upcoming. So we just had one yesterday on the 30th of April. Okay, so they took it down for a short time, so members were not able to log into Basecamp or purchase packs. And you can see it was probably in the afternoon, so maybe not a lot of people would have been on right before midnight, but if that was you and you couldn't get into Basecamp, then you could always check on Pathways, go to the Pathways updates and find out what is going on with Pathways. So we've looked at the about, we've looked at pathways, and now let's consider what we as members can learn on the education tab. Education. This is a great opportunity here for you to think about or craft what is going to be your own Toastmasters journey. Each one of us want different things out of Toastmasters. Some people want to grow as quickly as possible and get through the educational requirements to get their DTM. Others want to experience a more leisurely journey. Whatever your personal experience is, the education tab can give you some resources to help you. So if you're thinking about becoming a distinguished Toastmaster and you are wondering what is required, click on this Distinguished Toastmasters tab and it will tell you right off the bat what is needed. You have to complete 2 learning paths, serve as a club officer, serve 1 year as a district officer, serve as a coach or mentor, successfully sponsor a club or conduct a speechcraft or youth leadership program, and complete your DTM project. And all of these little stars, there is more information available. So pathways, if you are now in pathways and you're thinking what is required, it's laid out here for you. And pro tip, our district website has even more details. So make sure you hop on to Toastmasters Houston and take a look at resources there as well. So one of the things it says is you can do a speechcraft. Well, what exactly is a speechcraft and is there training for that? I'm glad you asked. Yes, there is video training and there is online training. There are people in our district who can help you. So anything that you are curious about with regard to education, we have this lovely education tab with awesome stuff in it. Now, members. As a member, what is available for us in Pathways? On the Toastmasters website. And one of the things I want to highlight, whether you are a new member or an old member, is the Welcome New Members section. And right here we have our international president, Mr. Richard Peck, delivering a welcome address. It's not too long, about 3 minutes, and it's a great little snapshot on welcoming members to Pathways. To Toastmasters. Even if you are an old member, you've been in it for, Ellie said 25 years during that humorous speech contest, and I'm like, wow, that's beautiful. You can get something out of this address. Another thing that I like right on this membership page on the welcome is the video library. If you scroll down, this is one easy way to find the video library. And you may be thinking, what is in that video library? Well, I'm glad you've asked. It's videos, obviously, but really cool videos. things about how to conduct yourself in public speaking, and not only helpful videos, but fun videos. We have 92 items here available for us, 92. Right on page 8 is one of my favorites. If you go to page 8 in the video library, here we go, Ramona J. Smith from our district, her winning speech. If you haven't seen Still Standing, it's available right here. And then if you also mosey along to page 5, I think it's some really good information for all of us. Are you managing fear? What are basic public speaking tips? How can we promote diversity in Toastmasters? Proper tips on how to use a microphone. Very good information. So sometimes we come to our clubs and we may not be getting the educational information because our club is struggling, or our club is small, or our club is focused on something else. The information is available here, and you'll be the one to take that information back to your club. Maybe you want to present a session on managing your fear, and here's a great resource for you to access information. Let's take a look at Leadership Central and what this has for our members. Well, I'd like to remind you that the leader letter that you get in your email, you don't always open your email. The leader letter is on the Toastmasters International website, and this is the April leader letter. If you click the archive, you can see leader letters from past months, lots of leader letters. What's in our leader letter this month? Evaluating your leadership development. So Toastmasters helps us in 2 facets. The first one, of course, is communication, but the second is leadership. How are we evaluating our leadership skills? Well, this tells us right here the resources that are available to us as individual members, how to conduct meaningful evaluations, how to make the most of evaluations. If you are thinking, hey, I need some help or some tips, right here in the leader letter, Toastmasters has information for you. Resources. I really like the statistics and data hub in Toastmasters because it tells us some really cool things about this organization that we are part of. And I have downloaded the first one, which tells us this is a fact sheet from July 19 to June 2020. So not this fiscal year, but the prior one. There are over 364,000 members in Toastmasters International worldwide. The average age of a Toastmaster is 46 years old, and 56% of Toastmasters are bilingual. So you are in great company. There's so much information on these statistics hub and statistics and data hub. Member satisfaction survey, what is the word I'm looking for?
Alumni.
Alumni. No, I was saying alumni. Alumni, thank you so much. Alumni member survey. All these great pieces of information about Toastmasters are available on the resources tab, statistics and data hub. We're almost to the end, guys. Magazine. Now, I know you're probably thinking, well, yeah, we see this magazine, and here it is. If you wanted to look at the magazine for Toastmasters, you can download a PDF copy and read to your heart's content. So whether you prefer to access information on the computer, or if you wanted to print it out, if you so desired, it is available for you. So this magazine is talking about how to be an influencer online. Very, very good content. Events, the World Championship of Public Speaking, webinars, the convention. If you are interested in looking at the past international convention, the 2020 convention is on there in all its glory for you to take as much time as you want to replay for FREE. You can see the World Championship, you can see business events that happened. The entire conference is on here available for you. And for the fun stuff, if you want to shop till you drop, right within the shop, click on For You, and there is so much Toastmasters swag here. You can go, I don't want to say bankrupt, but you can get enough stuff to make your house a Toastmaster shrine, from a backpack to pens, ceramic mugs, all of these cool stuff. All of this cool stuff is available for you. So as a member, I want to encourage you to explore the Toastmasters International website, get to know this organization, get to know the resources that you have, and make sure that you are taking full advantage of your membership. Thank you so much. I turn it back over to our chair today.
Fantastic presentation, Rare. I tell you what, it's so important to uplift people, and I can tell you that with your message right there, you're bringing us resources. It's so important to understand our path every single way, and not only that, the way that supports the way, what we actually completing. One of the things I wanted to bring in when you're talking about timing, and this is a good story, is that Joe sent me a text, I think at 1:30 in the morning. Okay, so I answered that text. I'm sorry, it was an email at 1:30 in the morning, and I sent her the email back. He says, "What are you doing at 1:30 in the morning?" and she says, "You know what? This is my alone time. This is when I can really concentrate on things I want to get accomplished." So why that I'm saying that? You know, we talk about all the technology and all this basically information that we could reach, but the most important thing is to reach the people from district and your officers. That's what they do. They support you, they teach you, they show you the pathway, and not only that, they mentor you, and they you know what's so funny? They pick out your talents and put them to work. And that's one of the things I love about being a Toastmaster. Every single day, there's something new that somebody's going to bring to me. So now that we go through this presentation, does anybody have a special question for us today? Evelyn, would you say?
Mr. Chairman, just a suggestion. Why don't you let each of the three of us present, and then folks can take their notes, and it may spur something else that will go back to Ray Ann's and Becky and my presentations. Let's just see if that works.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay. So, you know, one thing I didn't give an introduction to Ray just a minute ago, and I want to do that right quick. I say Ray joined the Toastmasters in 2017. She has been loving, and ever since, her Toastmasters allows her to pursue better speaking skills while simultaneously working to become a more effective leader. She enjoys serving as a club and a district level, and currently serves as the District 56 Finance Manager. So you can see that she is growing a whole lot in her service, and I sure appreciate that, Rare. Now that we're going to be talking about officers, Miss
Becky, no.
Ms. Becky, no, come and join us, please, with your presentation.
Thank you very much. I'm going to share my screen. And can everyone see my PowerPoint?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. Well, I'm going to talk about what club officers need to know and where it's found in the Toastmasters International website. The first thing is, and Ray Ann alluded to this a little bit in her presentation, which is we don't have to reinvent the wheel. When I started with Toastmasters, my club was new, and there was a lot of confusion as to what were the roles. What does the all-counter do? What does the grammarian do? And currently, my home club is a corporate club, and we actually have a lot of members from Africa that have joined us, and they're wanting to learn about, oh, okay, I saw what the grammarian did. What did the grammarian do? Well, you can go out under membership, under the club leadership, and see what the club roles are. And that's very important, so that as we bring new members on, we're not having to reinvent the wheel. All of this information, wonderful information, is available to us. And you can click on each one of these roles. And as you can see below, I clicked on the table topic speaker. This allows me to have greater detail about what a table topic speaker does. So each one of these roles, we're not having to reinvent this, but as club officers, it's very important that we be able to tell our newer Toastmaster members what each one of these club roles are. That way they're growing in their Toastmaster experience. Secondly, if you've ever wanted to grow, and Toastmasters is about where leaders are made, one of the first places where we're allowed to gain that leadership responsibility and those leadership roles is in a club officer role. And I don't know about you guys, but the first time I got nominated for a club officer role, I was like, what does that do? I have no idea. Club officer roles are defined out there for us, and we can see a summary of them. We can view a tutorial of those. And as we're in our roles, we can do a self-evaluation that looks at how are we as the club president? How are we as the secretary? How are we as the sergeant of arms? Are we doing all of the things and all of the tasks that we're responsible for? So it's very nice to have this information. Like I said, we are not needing to reinvent the wheel. The club officer handbook is out there, and it covers a wide range of things, including how should our clubs be structured and what is the governance behind our clubs. A lot of times we get asked about, well, how do I want to, we want to change my club from a open club to a restricted club, or what kind of structure should we have? All of this is out there, and that's governed by our club's constitution. Plus, it goes into detail. Like many of you, the first experience we get outside of our own club might be a speech contest, or it might be club officer training. And that may be a little confusing as to how does all of this structure work? Well, that's also out there in the club leadership handbook. It gives us a variety of information about Toastmasters that Ray Ann was sharing with us. Some of the important information that we need to know as a leader in our club is more information about our club. The first thing that we need is, what is that club roster? So you can go out to Leadership and Club Central and click on the club roster, export it into an Excel file. This way you've got information about the members, their phone number, their address, and their email if you want to contact the various members. Please keep in mind that this is, private information, so you're using this, you're not sharing this with other people. But this is an excellent way for us as club officers to contact our members. Secondly, under club membership, all club officers can submit a payment for members. You have to be an officer of that club to do that, but you can submit, add a member, or you can renew their dues as we come up on April and October deadlines. One of the things that I find very valuable, especially for corporate clubs, is to create a custom invoice so that we have the information. If the club member is getting reimbursement from the corporation, we can create a custom invoice for them so that they can turn that in on their expense claims. Also, there's a bunch of information about just how do we administer the club. If you guys could excuse me for a moment, I'm getting a phone call. I'm getting furniture delivered for my house. Tammy, could you skip forward and I will come back?
Yes, let's go ahead. We can do that, Becky.
Thank you.
We'll return control of the dais though back to Louis.
There we go. Sorry about that.
Okay, thank you, Becky. I know there's a lot of things. Life keeps on coming on, and there's situations that come up and hit us. And I tell you what, having the right information to be to take care of our members, which is most important as an officer, is important. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Miss Tammy. Tammy's been with Toastmasters for quite a while, and she became part of it in 2015 when I was on Answer Club was forming as the Resurrection MMC in the Timber Grove area of Houston. She was the first person to sign the guest book and became the inaugural president to find your voice at Toastmasters. The club has been perennial president distinguished club, consistent according to the 10 by 10 DCP points, and Tammy became the first homegrown DTM to find your voice, and it was the second member in the District 56 to complete the DTM and Pathways Educational Program. So let's welcome Tammy. I tell you what, she is a hero. Let's join her.
Thank you, Luis. I see Becky's back. Do you want to continue, or?
If I could, because
Then you'll be free and you can.
then I'll
go.
be free. All right. I apologize, guys, but
I yield the floor to my learned colleague, Toastmaster Becky. No.
thank you very much. I think this is an example of what can go wrong will go wrong, correct? All right. And I deeply apologize because, like I said, my furniture is coming today, and I thought I had planned that all a little bit better. All right. Can you guys see my screen? All right. Let's talk about what we can do from a club administration perspective. Okay. One of the things that I think is very important is that when you go out and look at and you're trying to gain new members, if you don't have your information for your club correct, you may be missing members if they show up or if they're trying to log on to Zoom. So under club contact and meeting information, that's where you're going to put, if you got a Zoom meeting, as we all do now, correct? That's also when you're going to put what time does your club meet. That will then feed into the Toastmasters International website. And when they go look for, when someone comes and looks for a club, you have the correct information for them. Secondly, under club demographics, please go out and update this because this gives you your contact member information for your vice president of membership, or if you're an advanced club or a restricted club. My home club, like I said, was a corporate club, and therefore it was a restricted club. And we didn't know for the longest time how to update that information. And so we were getting calls from people that wanted to join our club because it was a convenient time for them. So make sure that all of your information is correct under the club contact meeting information and the club demographics. The club success plan. I did not pay Mark Doley to talk about having WOW clubs yesterday, but she did, and it's a fantastic lead in to what we're talking about today. As a club officer, the club success plan lets you meet with your officers at the beginning of the year and throughout the year to talk about what are we doing throughout the year? How are we organizing our club? What are we looking for? What are our goals? And the club success plan starts you through that process, but it starts by talking about those wow factors that Lark was talking about yesterday. And wasn't that just a wonderful presentation? One of the very first things that people miss, and it's a point within the Distinguished Performance Report, is turning in the club officer information on time. So one of the first things that when I am either the secretary or the president, I go out there and make sure that we're updated with the club officer list, because that feeds directly into our, well, I'm just really that was my grandson. So if you see and hear a squeal, I deeply apologize. But make sure that you've got the club officer assignments updated, because like I said, that feeds into our DCP points. make sure that you have the secretary and the vice president of education, as well as the president, are fully aware how to submit education awards, because that is so vital to the club success plan. And as people see people getting through their pathways, and they see people becoming that public speaker, that wonderful presenter without the uhs, without the filler words, then they get excited as well, and it just feeds off of each other. So make sure that you understand how to do that as club officers. And that is it for me, folks. I'm going to turn the floor back over to my colleagues, and I'm going to go get my furniture. Going to stop sharing. Thank you, guys. Love you all.
Thank you. You know, to all of us, I'll tell you one of the things I love about what we do on a daily basis with these Zoom meetings, that regardless of what we have going on and life kind of try to put the stumbling blocks in there, seamlessly we're able to help each other. Not only that, help each other, encourage each other, and celebrate as we go forward. And this is one of the things that just it brings excitement, entices me to join, because you know what, we want to be heard, and also we yearn to be recognized, and you guys do a fantastic job. So thank you very much for your participation and the information you've given us today. Okay, Ms. Tamesia, I gave you an introduction before we even went through, but I'll tell you what, at all this, you're one of our heroes, and I'll tell you what, we're going to be blessed with your voice today. Can you please share your information about district leaders, which are the base for our members every single day? Thank you very much for joining us, and please share with us your message.
Thank you, Luis. I am honored to be here today to share the pentacle of these pages of the Toastmasters website. I use these pages every day as a district leader. I was a remedial area director, so I got to be an area director twice. And I continue to use these pages as a division director. And I want to encourage everyone. I know Stacy Wales is already, I believe, in service. Camille Morales is definitely in service. Harold has been in service. Luis is in service. And Carolyn Charney is in service. And I don't know if Roosevelt's been through, or Teresa have been through district service yet or not. But I want to encourage you that you have a lot of resources. If you've never served at the area director, division director, or higher level, you have a lot of resources in the Toastmasters website to help you lead others. Again, we're talking about Toastmasters, where leaders are made. It starts as a member, serving your club as a role, filling roles. It continues as a club officer. There are pages that give you information so that you know that your club is on the right goal to be successful. And then as you're successful, as leaders, we move up to the next level, and that's district leadership. I'm going to share my screen and walk you through a few pages that are my favorite. As you can see, this is me, Tamesia. This is my page. And I typically, when I want to search things for my district leadership, I go into Leadership Central. Then we have the District Central menu item. So I'm going to click into that and show you, those of you who have never been at district leadership level, all the cool stuff. You know, when your area director calls you and say, how come your membership is at such and such a level? Well, I'm going to show you how they get to know all of that. One of the first things we see on here, the area director visit reports. If you're an area director, you're charged with visiting the clubs assigned to you twice a year. And there's a short report that we fill out as area directors to memorialize that visit. And it gives us all an even place to come back and forth with, so that we can all be successful. District awards, this talks about, and I'll show you this. This is kind of cool to see. The awards that our district, District 56, has won in the past. We've been a distinguished district several times. We've never, and these are just, well, these are awards sometimes that aren't even given anymore. But it's good for the district to also become distinguished as well as our clubs. The reports tab, if you are a district officer, you have, as a division leader, I have a division club report. As a district leader, you will have a district leader report. And if I choose one of these, like my division club officer report, I can pull a spreadsheet of all of the club officers for all 29 clubs in Division R. And that way I have their email addresses, their phone numbers, and I can communicate with them at any time. Also have access to a division membership report, district officers, a district area, what are you guys called?
Area directors.
Area directors have similar for their areas. Thank you. The division success plan, for some reason, is not filled out, but I want you to understand, as Becky was talking about, that club success plan is also done at the area level and the division level and at the district level. It's really makes sense to do that, because you don't know where you're going if you don't have a plan. I grew up playing sports, and it's really hard to play a game if you don't know the score. If you don't have a game plan, you probably can't even score in the first place. So when your area directors ask you for your club success plans, they're not trying to harass you or hassle you. They want to know that you have thought about your success plan for the year. As a division director, I have to do the same thing with area directors. May I see your area success plan? That way we're all on the same page. I can help my area directors achieve their goals. The area directors can help their clubs succeed in their goals as well. I wanted to talk about this pathways adoption rates. Now, I don't know if anybody knew that we had access to this information, but we do. Now, I don't want to expose a lot of people, but I'm going to try to pull up my division. So I'm kind of proud of my division. We're at about, I don't know, 75 or 80%. But this shows us the adoption rates, like this ExxonMobil Toastmasters of Baytown is a brand new club. Their officers are all online, but they've still got to get some members online. They've got like 40 members in that club. They've got a lot of people to get signed up. But every month I go through and I keep track of this, because I have a goal on my division success plan that says I want all of my clubs to be at 90% adoption rate for pathways. As a district officer, this tells you the clubs that are being successful in giving their speeches and that their members are being successful. That's the main thing that we get from this adoption report. That's one of my favorite things to spend time on. District officer training. I remember when I was a club officer, my area director would say, not all of your officers have been trained. I said, well, how do they know that? Well, there's a report for that. And when you become an area director, it'll be something that you will be able to access, maybe, or maybe not. That's interesting because I opened it earlier.
Yeah, I think it's a little slow. I was having that same problem as well.
Okay. Well, what it does is oh, here it comes. There you go. It's just a little report. And it shows which officers have been trained. If it's blocked in, you see the little check mark in Blue Crew Club, their president was the only officer trained. Daybreakers, they had 6 officers trained. So that's how we know who the 747 folks are. The professionally speaking singles Toastmasters got all 7 of their officers trained. So these are reports that are very helpful at the district level for us to know the health of our clubs. Knowing the health of our clubs helps us know how healthy our members are and if our members are being given opportunity to meet their goals and striving to meet their goals so that they'll have every opportunity. The last thing I want to look at, and you see the distinguished performance report here, but I'm not going to go through this particular portal for this report because there are a lot of other screens I want to show you. We're going to go back to the Leadership Central, and we're going to go into distinguished performance reports from this avenue. Here on this, I guess this is a little deck page. Every region in the world is listed for Toastmasters International. As you can see, there are already some districts that are both President's Distinguished, and Smedley Distinguished. But we're going to go down here to Region 5 because we're in Region 5, District 56. And I know this seems like a long way to get there, but it's going to get you to this landing page. And this landing page gives you a little dashboard. And you've seen some of these figures and you heard about some of these things. We're only at 35 distinguished clubs, but I think we can definitely get to select distinguished this year if we all work hard and get our awards turned in. But as you continue in this particular report, it goes by area, division, just beginning with Division L, and it lists every club in every area. And you can punch into any of these. I'm going to, well, since Spring Ahead Speakers has already made Presidents Distinguished, this is what we call a Distinguished Club Report. Oops. A Distinguished Club Report, again, it's like a report card. How well is this club struggling? They started out with a base membership of 26. Today, they have 20. So that tells me they lost 6 members between last July and this date today. But that's okay because 20 members is the minimum allowed to make a distinguished designation. The goals are over here, 9, 7, and 5. But let's see how they got there. If you're an area director or a division director, you're going to deep dive into these DCPs. We see that they've got their level 1s done, they got their level 2s done, they got their level 3s done, and they even have an extra level 4, 5, or DTM. This club has been very diligent in applying their pathways. Their speakers are speaking, their club members are getting their credit for those speeches. They've even gotten at least 8 new members, which if I'm an area director, I'm going, okay, they started at 26. They've had 8 start. That would have put them what at, come on, my math major there, 34, right?
34.
So they've lost 14 members. So if I'm an area director, I'm going to go back to that club president and that VP of membership and say, you know, the math's not working for me here. What can we do to try to redeem those members? Can we get those members back? But this is the thing, when you look at the Distinguished Club Report, the DCP, it gives you a lot of information. Great, they did all their officer training, they turned in their dues on time, and they got their officers lists on time. Why does that say 2 instead of 1? Well, as a district officer, I would look at that and I'd say they must have 6-month terms for their officers. And that's why they had to turn in their list twice. This, my friends, is an excellent DCP. Excellent, excellent, excellent. But I want to show you a couple of other things as district officers that you will use that show some of these same reports. I'm going to start with the division and area performance. This is a little bit different layout, but it gives us some very important information, just in a different way of looking at it. I'm just going to start with Division L. I know Camille's on here and she's had a great year. It lists each of the areas, again, each of the clubs. And it also, I'm going to have to try to move this screen out of the way. Okay. It shows the renewals being paid. It shows club visits being done. Shows membership to date and how many club goals. So this is like a mini version of what we just looked at. So when you are a district officer, sometimes it's nice to see a little capsule. Now, Area 41 here, they've already gotten their May visits done and all of their clubs are active. They have one short club, but it's active. So these are things that you can look at. The other thing I want you to see is the area goals. If you're an area director, you have an opportunity to be distinguished as well. To make distinguished for Area 41, they came in with 4 clubs in their base. Just as members, they had 26 members in that club that we looked at, right? They now have 4 paid clubs, which is good. That means that they are even because you have to have as many clubs going out as you had coming in to make the distinguished program. And it tells you that right here. Okay. To make distinguished, you have to have 4. Select, you have to have 4 paid clubs. If you have a new club added, you might qualify for President's Distinguished as an area. Then the number of distinguished clubs that is necessary to make this area distinguished. They get 2 clubs, which they already have 1. Successfully Speaking is already in the books. And I can tell you for a fact, I can tell you for a fact that Deerwood is going to make it. Deerwood will be distinguished before this is over. So this area director here in L41 is probably going to be a distinguished area. Yay. But this is another way to look at the distinguished club program. The one that I use the most though is the club performance. It's another way of looking at the DCPs of your area and of your division. But again, it's in code here. You can see how they're doing in their pathways. For example, professional speakers, I don't mean to pick on these guys, but it clicked me out to their regular DCP. They haven't been turning in any of their pathways levels. If I'm an area director or division director, I'm going to be asking somebody, do you understand how to get these completed levels over here to this DCP? Because as Becky was explaining, and I think Rayanne as well, there's a place where you go in as a club officer and you have to move those membership awards over on the TMI, this website. They don't transfer from pathways. You have to do an extra step. So when I see something like this, because that tells me that somebody's probably doing some work, it's just that we're not seeing it on their awards profile. But again, this is just another way of looking at the same information. My last things I want to show you, and this is what I do every day. If you wanted to know what I do when I come onto this website every day as a division director, and when I was the DCP chair, I would go here to additional reports. Now, these reports are the daily reports. And there are times when we are, and you need to know this if you're a division officer, the website stops publishing current statistics. In other words, they have 2 dead weeks at the beginning of the month. So the only way you're going to know what's been added and what's really going on is you have to go to these daily reports. And here's the report for today. There's a lot of stuff on here that you don't really need, but this is like the April dues report. This shows us that 2 clubs went from being inactive or renewals not here or low to verified complete on the 30th. So that adds to our active clubs. If I was the Division O director and the Division L director, I'd be jumping up and down right now. It tracks a lot of things, but what I really want to show you is that yesterday, Find Your Voice Toastmasters added an LD4 and an LD5 to their DCP. So every day as a district officer, you can go in and you can see how your clubs are doing if they're submitting awards that you won't see on the DCP page until after month closing. There's another thing I want to show you, and this will be the last thing, and this is the district's report page. When we're tracking dues, like we just had to track dues during April, and we can't see who's paid. The numbers, because the website is down, we can't see who's paid and who hasn't, but we can go to this report and we can see these verified completes. And that lets us know that people are paying their dues. So if your district officer comes to you and they say, have you got those at least 8 yet? That's how we know. Another thing in district summary that you can find, and this helps you as in district reports that you can find, are the educational achievements for the year. That might be a long one to open, but it shows you all by club, they're sorted by club, all of the completed levels in DTMs that have been done for the year. I don't know if that's going to load. That's a long report. But you can track and you can look and see how your clubs are doing by looking in these district reports and then the district summary. The main thing I wanted to do today is I wanted to show you that it's not, I don't want you to be anxious if you've never been a district officer before. I want you to think about diving in, being part of the leadership that takes District 56 to the next level. The passion that you have for your club, the passion that you have for Toastmasters as an individual Toastmaster, the things that get you those DTM awards on the wall and all these pins, like Rayanne's got all her pins on.
Got the pins.
Those are the things that we need at the area director level to bring all of our clubs to success. I'm looking forward to any questions that anyone might have. There's a lot of information, and I'm going to turn it back over to Luis.
Wow, 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 Miss Tammy. I'll tell you what, that is a whole bunch of information to swallow. And as an area director, there's a lot of things that you just opened to me that I need to be looking for, because supporting our clubs is important, which they support our members. Frankly, there's a lot of things that at times, just because time happens, life happens, it kind of takes away from what complete focus is. But I'll tell you what, every time we move forward and we help other people to move forward, they're going to succeed, and we're going to succeed with them. So it's very important. It's very important. Through these conversations, we talk about our members, our club officers, and our district leaders. And many of you guys have participated in those in one facet and the other. So I'll just ask you if you have any special questions for our presenters this evening.
There's one in the chat, Luis.
Okay,
And
let me go ahead.
It's from Teresa. It says, I have 3 questions. As VPE in my club, I'm interested to know if there is an adoption rate report and club officer training report for the club president. No, that's it's a district level report. If I'm a club president, how can I find the health of my club?
Okay,
Rayanne?
so Teresa, if you're asking for an adoption rate with regard to pathways, what I would encourage you to do is to look at your club roster, and
Yes.
there you can see on the club roster every single member who is pathways registered. So that's an easy way to take just an eyeball and see, okay, is someone registered for pathways? With regard to club officer training, as the club president, I encourage you to please hold your maybe monthly executive council meetings as a club president. And that's a great opportunity to one-on-one chat with your officers and find out who is attending, who has attended, and who is needing to attend the club officer training. Finding out about the health of your club. I'm not sure what you mean exactly by the health of your club, but one way for us to measure club health or club success is how well the club is performing in the Distinguished Performance Program. So that's the DCP that Tammy was talking about. And that gives us an idea with regard just technically how our members are, you know, if we're bringing on new members, if we are having educational achievements, and if we're having administrative success. But I would encourage you to perform a check of your club by doing the thing, it just went completely out of my mind, where you do the
Moments of truth.
moments of truth.
Yes,
That is it.
yes,
The moments of truth with your club members, and that will really give you a sense of, are people finding success? Are there things that your club is doing that people wish that would be a little different? What's working and what's not working? And that moments of truth survey will give you a really good sense of that. But excellent questions. Thank you so much. We're open to any other questions that they wanted to share based on your own experience using the Toastmasters International website. Any tips or tricks that we haven't covered today that you would like to jump in and point out to us?
I just want to make one comment, is that a lot of times out of fear and we don't have, if you don't have the proper mentorship, what happens? You don't feel like you get supported. So even if you don't know all the minutia of all the system and all the reports, there's going to be somebody in your club that's going to guide you properly. So don't be scared, okay? Because that's what we do, is support each other, celebrate each other, and help each other move forward. And frankly, that's one of the benefits I have received. I'll kind of use this story, is individuals, when they ask me to take certain positions, they hang me over the edge. In other words, survive or die. And as soon as I get into that position that I'm participating, that I'm in action, you know, it's a bliss. It's just like what we're doing right now. To me, is brand new. So every one of these officers are important to support that member, okay? And district does it really well with our area directors, and our area directors do their best with our each and one of our clubs. And I tell you what, every single time we participate, we just enjoy having that unity as strong members, as strong Toastmasters. So that was my final message for the evening. But if there's anything you would like to share, I'll tell you what, you're welcome to do that. I just have probably a minute to spare if you want to join. Well, I can see crickets are coming up. Somebody said that in the last meeting. I kind of laughed, you know. But I'll tell you what, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for the education you have gave us today. And I'll tell you what, it's been, I'm going to say, it's not exhausted. I'm carrying gold nuggets today with me because you guys carried with your spirit today. Well, thank you very much. And hopefully we can see each other again.
Thank you
have a nice
so much,
afternoon.
Guys, before
Oh,
we jump off, there is
mm,
the survey in the chat. We would appreciate if you would fill that out. So
mm,
just click on that survey monkey in the chat and
mm.
give us some feedback on this session, or come over to the app in Hova and give us some feedback. Thank you so much and have a
Fantastic.
beautiful rest of the conference, everyone.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.